Hey guys, so I am back with my first tutorial of 2016. It is an NV inspired look if you couldn't tell already, and it's also part of a collaboration with some other incredible artists. I will have all of their social media information and links down in the description, so please go check them out. Everybody did a freaking amazing job. And thank you so much to Anne, aka Minsooky, for putting this whole thing together and for asking me to join in. I had a lot of fun, so thank you, and I hope that you guys enjoy. I'm starting out with my base already done, which is a green and yellow concealer from NYX, the Kat Von D foundation, and a NYX banana powder and Makeup Forever setting spray. So now we're going to start doing some pretty intense contouring, and I'm using the NYX HD Blush in the shade Taupe. And I'm just going to kind of start out how I normally would contour along the cheekbones, up onto the temples, on the jawline, and then as we go, we'll start building it up and deepening the contours. I'm going for a gaunt, sort of sickly look for this, so I am taking the contouring down onto my neck and shoulders as well, just to really deepen and sink in those features. Then when I'm contouring along the sides of my nose, I'm also taking that back onto the inner half of the eyelids, and also I'm going to accentuate the eye bags underneath my eyes. So now I'm going to start bringing that cheek contour in toward the mouth to help sink in those cheeks a little bit more. Now with a deep brown eyeshadow, I'm going to start deepening all those contours that we just created. And you'll just want to apply this mainly where you want the deepest part of your contour. And then be sure to blend it out really well. I'm keeping the top edge of my cheek contour at least very sharp, so it's more dramatic. You can soften it up if you would like though as well. I also switched to a bit of a smaller blending brush just so I could get more precise. I'm taking that deeper brown into the crease and then along the outer part of the lower lash line as well. And then again, to get even more precise, I'm going in with a pencil brush to define those shadows underneath the eyes as well as the crease. Then I decided to take a mini break from the contouring to do the eyebrows, and I decided to just brush some concealer through them to kind of get rid of the color, and then I'm setting that with a translucent powder. And back to contouring. This part is just all about layering and deepening those contours. You can take it as far as you would like. I'm just kind of looking in the mirror and going back and forth and seeing what I need to add, where I want to add anything. And then I'm also going to contour with this plum shade, green shade, and I'm going to use the red shade around the eyes as well. I'm starting out with the plum, and I'm going to focus these colors around the eyes mainly. I am going to take it down on the cheeks and the neck as well, but I really want those eyes to be one of the main focuses. Again, I'm using that pencil brush for precision, mainly to apply the color, and then I'm going to switch back to my bigger blending brush to help blend it out. And then I also decided to add this color around the nostrils, since we can tend to have some darkness and discoloration around there. And then I almost forgot, but I'm going to sharpen those contours on the temples and then blend up the sides of the forehead. Next up, I'm going in with the green, and I'm not only applying this into the contours, I'm going to take this on the inner half of the eyelid as well. Since green is the color of envy, I really wanted to bring that out a little bit more. And then for the red, I'm just using my pencil brush to stipple that on kind of randomly around the eyes. I wanted it to look a little bit more splotchy rather than nice and blended out. Then I'm applying that around the nose as well. To add the look of some more irritation around the eye, I am applying that red very carefully to the waterline and then gently blending that out, and I'm also applying the NYX Wonder Pencil over top just to kind of lighten it up. Then once I've applied that, I'm going to blend that along the lash line just using my finger. Then if you happen to go a little bit too crazy with the red, you can take a cream colored eyeshadow to apply over top, and that'll just kind of help lighten it up a little bit. Then for the lashes, I am not curling them or anything, just applying mascara to the top and bottom. I'm going to smudge that down under the eyes, and then I'm going to purposely clump that on the top and just kind of blink down so that it transfers down under the eye. Basically, you just want to look like a mess. We're also going to add some glitter tears to this, and we're using a Wild One from Glitter Injections as well as Lucky Charm from StarCrushed Minerals. And I'm starting out by applying the StarCrushed Minerals glitter adhesive underneath the eye where I want the tears, and I'm applying the most along the lash line and then tapering it off as I move down. Then I'm using that same brush to stipple the glitter over top of the adhesive. And please just always remember to be careful when using glitter, especially around your eyes, and do not use a craft glitter around your eyes. If I'm working not around my eyes, like on my cheeks or on my neck, I will use a craft glitter, but around your eyes, you don't want to do it. They're processed and cut differently, and you don't want to harm your eyes, so just be careful. I'm gonna post Elsa Ray's Dangers of Glitter video that she just posted a little bit ago down below, so check that out and just be safe. Once I've applied the glitter, I'm making sure it's pressed into the adhesive, and then I'm brushing away any extra fallout. And I'm pretty obsessed with the Wild One glitter. It's also what I have on my nails right now. It is glorious. And now I'm taking a medium tan eyeshadow and I'm kind of stippling that all over the face to create some more splotchiness and just overall more of a grungy feel. And this NYX brush has a ridge around the outside and then a dip in the middle, so it's really great for this kind of smudgy look that we're going for. I'm not sure the number of it, but I will have it down in the description. So I'm gonna do this pretty much all over my face, down onto my neck and shoulders, and then like we did with the red, we're going to take that cream eyeshadow to kind of break it up and lighten it up a little bit if needed. I don't really want to blend this out, but if I do have any excess shadow, I'm just going to take my bigger fluffy brush to wipe that away. Now I'm going to use a darker brow pencil to outline the body of the snake collar. I did use a few reference photos for this, and I'm starting up on my left cheek with the head, and then I'm going to do the bottom part just because I knew where I wanted the head and the tail to be, so I could place those and then fill in that middle part of the body. I wanted to have this snake coiled around my neck, yet loosely coiled around my neck, so that it would kind of symbolize and be like it's just kind of at home chilling as your friend, but it could really strike and kill you at any moment. So now I'm just going to go over that outline with some black body paint on my Sigma E11. And side note, I probably should have waited on this step. I don't know why, I guess I just got way too excited. One of the reasons I should have waited on that step is because I am using an eyeshadow to fill in the body because I don't have a good green body paint at the moment. So I'm applying an eyeshadow base to the body, which I wasn't able to blend all the way out to the edges. Since I had the body paint, it would have smeared and then it would have been a big mess. So it was kind of uneven, but it all worked out in the end. Then once I've applied my main base color, I'm going in with a shimmery lime green pigment to start adding highlights around the body. And I want to apply these mainly through the center, kind of a little bit more toward the top of each section though. I'm then applying the dark brown eyeshadow along the inside edges of each section of the body, blending it in toward the lime green. Then once I've done that, I'm using that same brown eyeshadow to add some shading around the outside of the body just to give it a little more dimension so it's not sitting just flat on our neck. Then I'm going to add a little bit more highlight using that lime green. And then over top of the brown shading that we did on the body, I'm going over that with our base green. And then on some areas I wanted to feel tighter or flatter against the skin, I'm adding some concealer along those edges and then just blending it out. I also decided to use this concealer as well as the cream colored eyeshadow from before to really pump up the highlight. So now we're just about done with the snake, but I wanted to move up to the lips, and I'm using Jeffree Star's Dirty Money. I'm applying it to the middle part of the lips and then just using my fingers to smudge and stipple that out just so it looks really uneven and messy. I'm going to go back in and keep adding a little bit more product if I feel like it needs to be darker. I'm then going in with one of the NYX Extreme Shine lip creams. You could also use a red lip gloss for this. I am just going to apply this kind of in the cracks of my lips, mainly focusing around the center of the mouth. If you turn this applicator sideways, it is pretty thin, but I did have to go back in with Dirty Money to kind of thin out and define those cracks a little bit more. So it might be easier to use a concealer or lip brush or just a fine detail brush. So now we're going to finish off with the details of the snake, and I'm using my concealer to draw on some eyeballs. You could also use a white body paint for this, and then I'm just outlining those with the black body paint and giving them a little triangle in the center for the slit pupil. Now I'm going to start creating a bit of a scale pattern, mainly on the head, kind of fading down into the body. I didn't want to do the entire body with scales, but I did want to do the head and the tail at least. Again, I did use some reference photos for this, but you can kind of just make it up and do whatever kind of scale pattern you think looks good. I started with them biggest on the head and the very end of the tail, and then as I moved in on the body, I started making smaller scales, and then I faded it out a little bit and then just started doing little V's, so that it kind of had a nice little fade rather than just the scales stopped right here. And also as we go along, I'm going to start redefining that black outline that we made at the beginning. Then once I've finished my scale pattern, I'm going to add some glitter. So again, I'm just applying that glitter adhesive wherever I want the glitter. I am going to focus it mainly on the highlighted points of the snake, as well as all the scales. And again, I'm using Wild One and Lucky Charm for this. And since I do have quite a bit of area to cover, I am doing this in sections so that my glitter adhesive doesn't dry before I get the glitter on it. And then lastly, I almost forgot this, but I am just using a cream blush to fill in the snake tongue, and then using some leftover black body paint, not getting any extra product on there or anything, just to give a light outline and shadow around it. And I almost forgot to outline the final section of the body. But guys, that's going to finish off this look, so I hope that you enjoyed it. I also decided to add some poison coming out of my mouth, which is just water and black and green icing coloring, so it is completely fine to swallow, but it didn't really taste that great. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope you're having a great year so far, and I look forward to what 2016 brings for this channel and for all of you guys. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later.